Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. The forsythia is blooming today. Well, this week. It's starting to get warm, so I figured I'd take a video in front of it. Today's topic is going to be chronic pain is not your fault. Alright? A lot of people come to that conclusion when they start really learning more and more about TMS. So before I get into that, I'll take a couple of nice breaths. Oops, shadow on my face. Alright, so breathe in the peace. Exhale the stress. I'm shooting out front also because my neighbor's starting to pull out his tractor. So breathe in the quiet. Exhale the noise. Alright, so chronic pain and TMS. It's not your fault. I gotta watch this shadow here. It is not your fault. So a lot of people get chronic pain and they immediately blame the body. They immediately think, I'm broken. The doctors convince them that. The research convinces them that. They go get medicalized. Doctor, treatment. Failure. Didn't work. And then we somehow, through some stroke of luck or magic or synchronicity, we find out about this thing called TMS. We read a book by Dr. Sarno, and then we start learning about repressed emotions and the brain's need to protect us. And many of us turn from, okay, great, my body's not broken, to, oh crap, I have a brain problem, a mental problem, or an emotional problem. It's my fault. And people think, and sometimes interpret, that I'm telling them that they brought this on themselves, that this is their fault. And I'll be candid with you. My mom's had pain on and off for much of her life, and I've told her about this stuff, and she's like, but I didn't bring this on myself. And then my sister, unfortunately, has been having a lot of neurological symptoms. Pins, needles, pains, some numbness, some weakness. And I'm trying to tell her about this. And my mother's going, stop telling her that it's her fault. I didn't say that. I've never said that. I've never blamed anybody with TMS that it's your fault. And I've tried to explain the whole concept of a nervous system gone into overprotective mode. A nervous system that's just buzzing and like electricity on a level 10 out of 10. And symptoms can happen, and then we get sucked into the system. And I'll tell you, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You are the way you are because of your life's experience, not through some mistake, not through willing it on yourself, not through being a bad person, not through being too weak or mental or emotionally unstable to want this. It's not your fault at all. This is just something that happens to a lot of people. And, you know, there's also the belief that, well, I know lots of people who have lots of stress and they don't hurt, so why me? What did I do? What's wrong with me? Your life experience, lots of, I wouldn't say traumatic events, because some people will look back at their past and go, it wasn't that traumatic. But through lots of different things, we become more and more sensitive. And our nervous system gets more and more on alert. And yes, I do believe the emotions have a role in it. So we run into some big stuff. Lady I was talking to today had a couple of things going on. She had two major events, major deaths in her life. Her dear friend and her dear friend's husband. And then she had to move. She had encephalitis. And then she lost her job. And within a 6-month period of time, she started having her pain across the lower abdomen, hip to hip. And she didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't her fault. She experienced pain. I believe it was the overwhelming emotions on top of the fact that she probably had a lot of different life stressors up until that point. And she started getting pain, but then she got sucked into it. And I told her, I said, look, going back 10 years, we can connect the dots, and that's all we need to do. We don't have to go back and relive and experience the grief from losing friends, the shame of losing her job. She also moved at the same time. And so she didn't do anything wrong. It's just where she ended up. And because pain has a really strong potential to get our attention, it gets our attention. And again, that's not her fault either. That's not our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. It's just kind of what happens. And everything I try to do in these videos is geared towards taking the pressure off of you and encouraging you to parent yourself like the parent you wish you had. Soothe yourself, reassure yourself, convince yourself that you're okay. This stuff is not your fault. And so it is within our realm of influence to get better. Notice I say I didn't use the word control, because control says, well, if I can't turn it off, then that's my fault. I'm doing something wrong. No. The best we can hope is to influence it, right? But influence does a lot. We can absolutely influence the pain by choosing our reaction to it. You know? Take a, so what? I'm hurting today, big freaking deal. That's going to do a lot more to influence the pain in a positive downward direction than flipping out and responding to it and getting angry. You know, I know people who yell and rage at their bodies. Stop yelling at the body. The body's just listening to the brain. The brain's just doing what it can to keep you safe because it perceives that there's something wrong that it has to protect you from, so it turns on the pain. Look, I know this stuff sounds like I'm talking in circles here, but the bottom line of this message is simply this. You didn't bring this upon yourself. You didn't will this upon yourself. You didn't want this. You didn't deserve this. You didn't do anything wrong. This is not your fault. And there is a way out. And every day I do my damnedest to try to show you that way out through those concepts, the knowledge, the assessment, the acceptance. Feel your emotions, soothe your body, breathe, relax your muscles. Don't take your own thoughts so seriously. Be indifferent towards the symptoms. If you can't be indifferent, at least don't freak out. And if you step away from freak out and you're not quite indifferent, just reassure yourself calmly. Breathe and remember and remind yourself of the intellectual, cognitive reasons why you're okay. That's the recipe, guys and gals. It's not rocket science. Those are consistent messages of safety, and that's the way out. And if you do this stuff, you'll get better. You know, if you can implement those things, you'll get better. So it's not your fault. Love you guys and gals. Enjoy the last little view of the flowers here, and I will see you guys and gals tomorrow. Love you.